You know, I just don't get this whole Banff Sports Hall of Fame thing. They just don't seem to notice me, and I quite understand it. And so here's what I'm thinking, Steph, Marcus, look, I can be an inspiration. I'm one of the town's great multi-athletes. I got the proof. I got pictures of me skiing, got hockey, I got baseball, playing goals, ski racing. I got all the trophies too. Look, there's a hockey trophies, I got golf trophies, I got tennis trophies, I got ski racing trophies, I got these championship tennis trophies, I got all of these medals over the years. Steffi, I've done it all. Look at it, it's all here. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. If an old guy like Thomas Grandy can come back, I can come back. What do you think?
But Dad, Thomas Grandy can actually ski race.
Steph, look it, I got all the proof. I got the ski racing pictures. I got the trophies. I can still do it.
But Thomas Grandy can ski.
So can your dad. All I need is a training partner and a good one, and then I'm all set.
I don't think so, Dad.
I don't think so.
Dad can do it. All I need is a training partner, a good training partner. I can get out there and it's hardly gonna take any time, and I'm there. 2010, it's mine. So I'm gonna start with cross country. It can't be very hard, and I know this guy who can really help us. Old Phil Widmer, I'll call him and he can help out. Hey Phil, it's Marty. What do you mean Marty who? Marty Van Ude. Listen, I need you to come and train with me because I'm making a comeback and it can't be very hard doing your sport. So I figure you can show me kind of what it's all about. It's a little bit uphill skiing, but I figure the workouts are kind of hard, and I don't know, what do you think? So can you get me and really, let's go pound like 20K, 20 really hard K together? You think you can do that this afternoon? That'd be great. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Bye. So Phil, thanks for this. It's great coming out, and I'm ready. I think if a couple of days training with you, I'm part of the team. It can't take that much to be getting onto your team.
Yeah. It takes more than a couple of days of training. I'll tell you that much.
But it's uphill skiing. It's not real downhill skiing.
No, it's definitely. It might be a little harder than it looks. Aren't you a little bit old to be trying this stuff? You don't want to have a heart attack or push yourself too hard. Yeah,
Jeez, I'm only 50.
Did you sign the waiver?
Well, waiver, schmaver. Listen, I figure, at my age, that's what makes it really cool. The Sports Hall of Fame will see me for sure if I get on the team this way.
The worst you're going to do is lose a few pounds in the process, eh?
Yeah, right. Listen, I got my gear. I'm ready to go. I see you got that old-fashioned gear. I got these good rollerblades.
You might be passing me. We'll see.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's get it on and go do it, hey?
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Oh, man. Wait, man. Trying to catch up.
Pick up the pace.
Going so fast, we barely got started and you're already ripping around here. Man, these poles are goofy.
How are you feeling about that? They're a little long,
getting a cramp in my hands.
You gonna deal with them?
Huh?
You're gonna have to learn to deal with them.
Wow.
It's the name of the game.
You're right. It's not
more power.
Anyway, we should try and do something, harder.
A little harder, yeah.
A little harder, probably.
You might not be ready for it, but maybe we should try some uphills.
I think so, because I think
If you're gonna go to the Olympics, you're gonna have to do a couple.
Well, and I can probably, beat you uphill.
Yeah, definitely. I think
we should try
might
that.
be your forte.
Okay.
Those uphills.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Holy cow! What kind of wax you got on those wheels?
Hey, Marty.
This I don't know what he does. How he does to go so fast. What kind of energy bar this guy uses? Holy cow! I think I got the wrong wax for sure.
All right, Marty. Good warm up, man. Really good. Now we're ready to go do the 20K time trial.
20K?
Oh yeah.
Listen,
that's what my plan says.
I was a little behind you, but I figure if I make the team, I got to get better skis, hey?
Yeah, maybe if you make the team, we'll see.
So,
I don't know if it's the skis though.
Well, I think it is. So, what do you want to do now?
Well, I was gonna go do my workout, 20K, man.
This was the workout.
No, this is the warm up. Getting a feel for it, the uphills and the flats, and we gotta go do it.
No, Well, you listen. You go do your 20K, and I'm gonna do my own 20K,
Right.
and I'll see you on the team.
Okay.
But make sure I get those new skis, because I'm slower than you because of the skis, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about it.
I think my poles are too long. Maybe the poles are too long.
Yeah, I don't know. We got coaches for that.
All right. Well, you listen. You go your way. I'm going my way.
All right, Marty. All right.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, right, Phil. You do your 20K. I'm gonna do my 20K. You do my 20K driving back to Banff. Have a good day. I know exactly what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna give Stutz a call. Get back to some real skiing. Anyway, this is Canmore. Trustees never come here anyway. This place is for sissies. Hey, Stutz. It's Marty. No, not Marty from the dry cleaners. Marty Von Eidegg. Hey, listen, I'm making a comeback, man. I'm getting into alpine skiing and I got 2010 in the bag. So what do you say we go out for a good workout together? And let's really go for it, hey? And one other thing, hey, I need you to add me to your Facebook group, because it's real important for the trustees to see that you and me are buds. Super buds. Yeah, excellent. And one other thing, I need to make sure that we're just doing this focus on downhill skiing. Enough of that uphill skiing for me. That's all for sissies anyway. All right, see ya. Hey, is that Thomas Grandy and Ken Reed? Bet you those guys are dryland training together. So yeah, Paul, it's great to be up on a real ski hill now, training for real skiing, not that other kind of skiing. I've been an alpine skier my whole life, so a couple of days of training with you, I think I'm on the team, hey?
That's all you think it's gonna take?
Oh yeah, how hard can it be? A couple of hill sprints on there, man. You think I should order my team suit now, this week?
Well, I don't know. Thomas is trying to come back. Maybe Ken Reed's gonna come back too.
Yeah, I mean, we're all old guys. We can do it, hey? And I'm younger than
I don't know.
Ken.
We'll see. All
right, I'm ready.
Well, this is hill sprints. Let's go.
Oh, wait, not here. This is a jump out run, man. Hey, wait, too steep here.
Everybody wants to be on the team these days.
Hey, wait, man, this is all run with a jump. This is steep. You don't have to do this every day, do you? Yeah, you gotta do this. How many times you gotta do this?
One down, 9 to go.
9 to go? What are you talking about?
That's what it takes.
Oh, come on. Listen, I'm gonna go get some therapy, water therapy. It's gotta be better than this.
Whatever you need, I gotta keep going.
You keep going, I don't need this. I'm out of here.
Work on your tuck.
I'm not gonna do this all summer. The hell with that. I'm better skier than that. Peter Minot never trains, he's pretty good. He's really old too. Anyway. Yeah, that was a pretty good day. You know, I got out cross-country skiing with Phil, showed him how to do it. Went out with Paul and, you know, drove him pretty hard. So I think I got both cross-country and alpine in the bag, and that's already a good start. Trustees got to notice me if I get in on those. And, you know, if Thomas can come back, and Ken Reed's probably going to come back, and he's older than me, I can come back. I've been training my whole life, and if that doesn't work, you know, golf and curling and synchronized swimming. I'm pretty good at synchronized swimming. The trustees noticed that one. And bike riding, you know, I'm pulling kids all over the place, so I got the big beefy legs. So there's probably a lot of places I can get into this Hall of Fame thing. And, you know, they got one category for builders and a category for athletes. They got no category for multi-athlete. That's me, multi-athlete. I'm in for sure next time. Notice me. It's in the bag. 2010 multi-athlete. Pretty embarrassing, don't you think? You know, I'm about as embarrassed as George Bush was when he said it. I'm not making this up. I'm honored to shake the hand of a brave Iraqi citizen who had his hand cut off by Saddam Hussein. Anyway, my name's Marty Von Eidegg, and I'm the MC, and it's my third time here. And I guess you get what you pay for at these charitable organizations. I should remind you, though, of a couple of things with an announcement. And I decided that instead of just doing a normal announcement, I just do a quick little poem. So this ceremony is for sports heroes, builders, and jocks. It's not a time to listen to phones that sound like clocks. Nor do we want to hear Mariah or Madonna or ZZ Top or some other stupid piece of schlop. The people around you want to hear what's said, so if you want to turn them angry and red, answer your phone, click on your BlackBerry, pretend you're important, like Mo, Curly, and Larry. Turn it all off. Don't be a stooge. Trust me on this, our security guy is huge. And I have another announcement for smokers. If you smoke, quit. If you can't quit, go outside, please. But if you smoke and drink, aside from all the many obvious social problems, please take your drinks outside. Or don't take your drinks outside. Sorry, Frank. Anyway, it's incredible to once again see so much community spirit for such a fabulous event and a worthy cause. Banff is always amazing in that a small group of people can make so much happen with a lot of effort. It doesn't happen quickly or easily. So could I please ask the trustees of the Banff Sports Hall of Fame to stand up? The board is Mark Starrett, Roy Anderson, Graham McDonald, Harry Patterson, Michael Bacon, Lois Vanderlee, Mary Brewster, and Bruce Henry. And thank you all for once again proving what a great community Banff can be. As in the past, people have asked how the selection to this Hall of Fame is made, and so I'll just take a moment to fill you in. It was made and can only be made by nomination from someone in the community. Once again this year, many nominations were received, and they are only to residents of Banff and Lake Louise or past residents of Banff and Lake Louise. And the worthy nominees have been selected by the trustees in one of 4 categories: Pioneer, Athlete, Builder, and Achievement. This year's nominees cross many decades and various sports, but they're not meant to be a comprehensive list of all the nominees that are out there. So if anyone here tonight would like to nominate others to the Banff Sports Hall of Fame, you're encouraged, strongly encouraged to do so. And please remember that if you would like to see someone inducted, you can't assume that they've been nominated. You actually have to pick up a pen or go to the website. I'd just like to review the last 2 years of nominees. In 2005, the inductees were Karen Percy Lowe, and I'd ask them to stand up if they're here. Karen Percy, Maria Hawkins, Polly, or their families, Brian Strine, Jim Brewster, Rob Crosby, and Scotty Holland. And the 2006 inductees, Robbie Bosinger, Dean McGee, Bruce Henry, Dave Spence, Lewis Crosby, and Bonnie and Mike Wigley. And if there are any other former national team, and let's say provincial team, and Olympians here, please stand up. So once people are into the Banff Sports Hall of Fame, there's a permanent display which includes the biography of everybody, a portrait of each person, and they hang proudly here at the Banff Park Lodge. And you've seen them all as you came in tonight and outside in the hallway. So, now as some of you probably know, I'm a lawyer. And you're probably expecting a few lawyer jokes, but I'm not going to do any lawyer jokes this year. I did that the last 2 dinners, and apparently I've run out of lawyer because there's actually only 3 lawyer jokes. The rest of them are all true stories. Like, for instance, what do you call a lawyer with an IQ of 50? Your Honor. You see, so that's a true story, so nobody laughs. It's not funny. What do you get when you cross a lawyer with a demon from hell? Another lawyer. See, also not funny. True story. So I won't tell any stories tonight. But aside from being a lawyer, I've always been involved in some sport or other in Banff. And lately, my lovely wife, Renee, has suggested that I take up a new sport. And I think that's a great idea, and I'm really pleased that she has my best interests at heart, so thanks, Renee. I'm still unclear as to the rules for this Russian roulette. Maybe you can fill me in later. But at this time, I'd like to ask our own Shannon Booth to come in and lead us in the singing of O Canada. So I know we're already eating, but if you just put your knife and fork down and stand up for Shannon, please.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thanks, Shannon. That was wonderful. Shannon's mom, Tracy, works with me at CMH, and hear you singing like that. I always hear you yelling at me and giving me hell for stuff. That's great. She's really nice. She takes after her dad. She's wonderful. So I'd like you to, this evening is actually going to be pretty easy tonight. I'd like you to really enjoy your dinner and take time with your dinner, but there is going to be a silent auction, and there is a silent auction with fabulous items outside. They're broken into 3 categories: bronze, silver, and gold. So please go out and look at them and bid generously. The 3 categories will close at different times through the evening. The bronze items will close not too far down the line here, and the silver ones will close at the end of the main course, and gold will close with dessert. And prior to the induction, the entire silent auction process will be over. So please take some time to go out and look at those. You also have on your table, and as a centerpiece in the table, little flags that are Banff Sports Hall of Fame flags. Those are also a fundraiser for the hall. If you would like one of those flags, and we expect that you all will like one of those flags, they're yours to keep for a minimum $5 donation. And there's a little case on the table, and you can put your cash into the CD case. And don't be cheap. All right. So that's it until we'll announce as the auction items close. So enjoy your dinner and enjoy your evening, and have fun socializing with all the people that you don't get to see very often. Thank you. Well, I hope you all enjoyed your dinner. Now we have to thank, of course, the Banff Park Lodge for doing such a great job for that. Frank and your staff, terrific, and we'll thank you again later, but thanks very much. So there's a few things that I think we need to recognize at an evening like this. And one of the things that we have to understand very quickly is that these are the kinds of evenings that make living in Banff so special. And you all know that from the video before that I'm an old Banff through and through. And over the years, I've ski raced against the Calgary kids and Edmonton, and they were all pretty good on ice, but not very good on snow. And we played hockey against the Canmorons, and they thought they were pretty good, but we beat the hell out of those idiots. Hey, Jimmy Van Tassel is my old hockey coach there. Jimmy knows all about it. Hey, Jimmy? We clobbered those Canmore buggers. And lots of tennis with folks from all over the country club circuit, and they were kind of snooty and we weren't. But Banff and the people who live here are the great denominator in my life, And I suspect that they are the denominators in the lives of all of you here too. And as I look around the room, everybody's socializing and everybody's mixing and having a great time. And that's what these evenings should all be about. So we'll try and get started with this quickly, end the induction ceremony, and so we'll have more time for socializing a while. Anyway, us Banffites, we're different than the Calgary crowd. We're not like those folks from the big oil capitals. So they're a little more, shall we say, complicated than we are. For instance, you'd never hear the Calgary folks say things like, "Honey, do you think my truck is too big?" Or they'd never say, "Did you get that donation mailed off to the Liberals?" Never hear a Calgarian say, "Wrestling's fake." No, sir, you'd never hear that. They're not like us Banffites. Us Banffites, we're simple and genuine. For instance, Banffites will be genuinely heard to say, "Yes, that plastic Mountie is definitely made in Canada." Or, "We absolutely have lovely staff accommodations for you." Or, "That town concert will be a packed sellout." So speaking of the town, to many people in Banff, Mayor John Stutz is known only as Mayor John the First, or as he would prefer, John the Great, or perhaps Lord Stutz of Banffshire. But to many of us who grew up in Banff, he was our teacher, and he was simply known to his face as Sir. Behind his back, we called him something else. But he was our chemistry teacher, and in my case, he likes to say, "Marty was in my class, but I never taught him any chemistry." And I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, I suppose Stutz knew that I would get a political science degree. On one test, he asked, "Define a free radical." And I wrote, "John Lennon." I still think that's right. Anyway, Stutz has been a great mayor for our town and a great ambassador for sport. He has a kid who totally rocks, and he'll be here one day soon. And someday I hope that I can be in a political debate where I can say, "I knew John Stutz. John Stutz was a friend of mine. And you, sir, you're no John Stutz." Anyway, Banff's mayor, John Stutz.
Marty, I didn't know you were going to do this here tonight here. I didn't come with a prepared speech because typically when I do, I have my wife write it. But she does a remarkable job of writing my speeches, but it's basically all in the delivery, which you've learned out that tonight for sure. But as I look around this room here, there are certain events that we have in the town of Banff that bring together our community, but like this. It is amazing when I look at the various people who have been here. Sport is a great magnet for us all because we embrace it with passion. But when I look around this room to see the people who have come here tonight to support certainly the recognition of those who are going to be inducted here tonight, but also the passion for allowing our future athletes to do what they're going to do too. My son will be one of them. We'll see. But Marty, I was a little embarrassed here to come up second to you here. You've done a wonderful job tonight here. My son has injured himself after you put him through that workout. He's still trying to recover from it here. So you're certainly on my list of inductees in the near future here. And then you and I get a few runs together ourselves. But anyhow, thanks to all of you folks here who have come to recognize those athletes that are going to be inducted in tonight, and the builders and the historians, but also those that have come back who have been recognized in the past. It shows you how important this is. When I look at people like Karen and Bruce, and I could go through the rest of you, of course, here, Scotty. It's remarkable that you have the passion to give to what you've offered and what you've completed for us here. Wonderful evening here. Marty, you're on your own, buddy.
Thanks, Mayor John. All right. So our first induction tonight is a wonderful guy, Jim Buckingham. And there's some little known facts about Jim Buckingham besides his prowess on the water and on the slopes. Little known fact number one, he has a master's degree in geology. Now, as a lawyer, I'm mightily impressed that Bucky can use words like bed, dike, thrust, cleavage, subduction, and get the rocks off in the same sentence without getting sued. So, little known fact number two is long before there was Match.com or Harmony.com, there was BuckyCupid.com. It's quite a visual, isn't it? And you know Bucky? I know for a fact that he was a matchmaker for Tom Robinson and Connie MacDonald. And Connie says that there's probably a whole slew of others that have been hit by the little Bucky Master little arrows. So I wonder how many are in this room. I don't really need to know, though. I don't care. Anyway, little known fact number three is that he's still a regular hitchhiker. Not making this up. He likes to hitch to a little place called Russell, Saskatchewan. You know, that's just weird. Nobody hitches to Saskatchewan. And little known fact number four about Bucky is that he moonlights as a security guard. And I'll have to explain that one. Bucky lives on Muskrat Street, and it's right next door to Mary Costigan's house. And when Mary's away, Bucky's volunteered to keep an eye on her place. So not too long ago, criminal masterminds thought that there would be a good way to get into Mary's house and while away a few drunken hours. So Bucky saw these two knuckleheads go into the house, and he followed them into the house and out onto the front porch, and they saw him. And all he had to do was stand there and stare at them till the cops came. And if you've ever met Bucky, you know exactly why that's true. And lucky for them, they didn't move, because I'm pretty sure he took their arms off and made paddles out of them. Anyway, so Mary Costigan and her family are really grateful for the moonlighting, and the town of Banff is grateful for everything that Bucky has done for us on the mountains and on the water. For those of us who spend many hours on Mystic at Norquay, I hope you think of Bucky and his great work when you're ripping your big GS turns down the best local hill just about anywhere. And how many of you have taken a paddling course somewhere along the line from Bucky? I mean, that's pretty amazing. So Jim, our thanks and our gratitude. Your legacy on the rivers and the slopes is deserving of every honor you receive here tonight. Jim Buckingham.
Jim Buckingham personifies just what the builder category is all about. Every spring for over 30 years, Bucky has taught his now famous canoe course. By conservative estimates, Jim has taught canoeing to over 2,400 people with a focus on safety and the tremendous value of a unique national park experience. Most Banff paddlers would agree that Jim has had a hand somehow in cultivating their paddling careers. And he even knows the secret of helping couples learn how to paddle together and still stay married. Jim has also inspired Banff and Canmore schools to adopt a regular canoe program for the grade 6 classes. Over 1,200 Bow Valley students have learned the valuable skills of a life activity, along with an appreciation for their environment, at the tireless, gentle hands of Mr. Buck, the canoe boss. The children find their inner strength, their own wisdom, and the importance of seeing these attributes in other people, because Mr. Buck sees them. Bucky's contribution to sport reaches far beyond canoeing. At Sunshine Village, he drew on his teaching and patrolling experience to earn promotions to ski patrol director and then to mountain manager. His style of management consisted largely of management by skiing about, and the hill never ran smoother. Jim's passion, expertise, generosity of spirit, and genuine interest in sharing our rivers and mountains has influenced thousands. He's a role model for living and loving our mountain home. Beyond that, he's the best companion anyone could imagine for canoeing or backcountry skiing. His enthusiasm is contagious, and those who have joined Bucky in the mountains and on rivers over the years are richer for the experience.
Thanks, Mark. Congratulations for the Banff Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you very, very much. Dan, just use that one for a moment. I just want to say thank you very much to the committee that put me up here and to all the people that I've had the immense pleasure of paddling with, skiing with over the last 30 years. I just want to mention two people that I'm particularly honored to share the platform with, that were my mentors and guys that I always looked up to. That's Jerry Johnson and Doug Robinson. And I've got to mention one other guy. Very few people in this room will recognize his name. He's from Manitoba, but he started me paddling too many years ago to mention. And I've tried to do the same thing as Bill Brigden did. When we were kids, he made it possible for us to go paddling and made sure we went paddling. And I'm just trying to pass on what Bill passed on to me. So I just hope this kind of stuff keeps going. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Buck. You're a great guy. You're an inspiration for all of us, and thanks for making it tonight. I know it's been a tough couple of weeks, and we really appreciate all your effort. Super guy. Our next induction, ladies and gentlemen, the next induction is Sharon and Shirley Firth. 1975 was the year that I graduated from high school. I can sort of remember that. But what I really remember from that winter was the arrival of two sisters from the Northwest Territories who became instant and probably reluctant celebrities around town. The local kids knew them because they were incredible cross-country skiers and they were Olympians. In those days, cross-country skiers and Olympians around here were pretty rare birds. And we were also curious, and everyone wanted them ski. And to see them ski was a treat. None of us had ever seen anyone work so hard on a pair of skis. And as alpine skiers, we just thought skis were gravity tools, and this whole, like I said in the beginning, uphill skiing concept seemed like way too much work, man. Because it was the 70s, and we said man at the end of every sentence. But it was pretty soon that every kid in town started talking about Sharon and Shirley and what incredible they were. And looking back, what made that talk so special was that it was not just cross-country skiers who noticed the twins. It was the hockey players, the alpine skiers, the figure skaters, the track competitors. Everybody knew them. Everybody noticed them. There's no question that they set the stage for a whole group of kids from Banff, and they proved what had to be done to get past adversity and to get to the top. And I hope they know just how great of an impact they've made on this town and generations of competitors. Sharon and Shirley Firth.
and Shirley Firth were first introduced to cross-country skiing in their hometown of Inuvik in 1965. Their strong competitive drive and love of skiing, combined with support from the Territorial Experimental Ski Training Program, soon landed them a spot on the Canadian national team. The commitment to their sport meant leaving their home in the Mackenzie Delta and moving to Banff. Together, the sisters became members of the first Canadian junior national cross-country team to race in Scandinavia, and Sharon became the first Canadian to medal at a European event. With a lot of hard work and determination, and from the Banff community, they were soon proving themselves as Canada's most accomplished Nordic ski racers. They competed in 7 World Nordic Championships and 12 Canadian Senior Championships, where they won a combined 76 medals, 46 of them gold. The sisters made their Olympic debut in Sapporo in 1972. However, it was the 1976 Olympics in Innsbruck where Sharon and Shirley teamed up with Sue Holloway to earn a 7th place finish, still the best ever finish for a Canadian women's Olympic cross-country relay team. Together, the sisters competed in 2 more Olympic Games, becoming the only Canadian women skiers to compete in 4 consecutive Olympic Winter Games. In 1982, Shirley's best year on the 10-race World Cup circuit, she earned what was at that time the highest point standing by any male or female Canadian cross-country skier ever, finishing the season 11th overall. The Firth sisters have been honored as recipients of the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal, the Order of Canada, and an induction into the Canadian Skiing Hall of Fame. But perhaps their strongest legacy is the inspiration left for upcoming cross-country skiers. They were tireless and dedicated to their sport, and they set the stage for the next generation of female racers.
First of all, I want to thank every here. I'm going to start now. My first reaction when I arrived in Banff was survival. How am I going to adapt to this place? Well, we did adapt. That's history. Thanks to the Brewster family for their support and kindness during our stay in Banff. I want to dedicate the Olympic dreams to them. You were a big part of our lives in preparation for the Olympic Games, 1976, 1980, and 1984. You gave us a place to stay, and we felt at home and safe. Anders, he's not here tonight, our dear famous coach. I'm sure the first time you've seen us on skis, you said, "Oh my God." Where do I start? With you, we wouldn't have been here today. You taught us how to ski. And with that elegant technique, we got places. And that is your trademark. And you should be really proud of yourself. And this is true dedication on the part of Anders. Sure, we didn't have any Olympic medals or World Championship medals, but we can sit down and tell thousands of wonderful stories. I'll tell you one thing though, I had 4 Olympic jackets, 4 World Champion jackets, and the first person that came by said, "I love it," I gave it to them. So I don't have any of that at home today. Maybe today they're Olympic champions or maybe world championships. It's a daily skier. But one day, Anders sent me a jacket. It was a Banff Ski Runners. When I feel like I'm number one and I'm out training, I wear it. because the Banff skiers are number one. To the rest of you residents, thank you for recognizing our efforts. We continue to change people's lives. I have to say thanks to Hans. Thank you for all the support you offered us on the glaciers of Bugaboo, Caribou, and Panorama. No one on the Nordic circuit had the privilege to be transported to these glaciers by helicopter. This was true skiing, and you gave it all to us. Thank you for sharing with us these dreams. They all came true. Thank you, everyone. Did you catch it? It's pretty contagious, eh? Are you ready for this? Hatsat Gwinzi, Shilakat, Sijakat, Niwi Nijakat, Dranjokat, Denji Ju, Hatsat Nila, Gecha Cho Anthili, Silakat, Drinjak, Dacha, Banff Sports Hall, Guandacho, Masicho, Hitcha. Curious as to what that says? Guests, ski friends, inductees, ladies and gentlemen, I am humbled to be standing here tonight to be inducted into the Banff Hall of Fame, Banff Sports Hall of Fame, to be exact. It is a wonderful occasion to be back in Banff and to be surrounded by friends celebrating together. I extend a big Mussy Cho, that's thank you very much, to Beat and Richard who nominated us. And then, surprisingly, we were selected. As I note past and present inductees, I feel honored to be in their company, and especially along my twin sister Shirley. She was born first, and I've been chasing her ever since. At a very young age, I made the most amazing promise to myself. Want to know what that was? Come on. I had dreams. I promised myself that I was going to travel the world and become somebody one day. I had no idea that I'd be a cross-country skier because that was not part of our culture. And trappers, and that's how we grew up. But that competitiveness was always there. Looking back, I'm so happy that I had that dream because they are lifelong dreams. A dear friend told me once that we have to blossom where we're planted. And indeed, we blossomed here in Banff, our home for 10 beautiful years. Sometimes they weren't beautiful, but most of the time we were. And especially racing for the ski runners. And we had the best coach in the world, Anders Lennis. And I see that as a small club, they are doing really well, and you as the community of Banff must be so proud of them. I understand that a few years in a row they were the third best club in the country. That's pretty amazing, and what a legacy. An elder also once told me that you have to be like two people. You have to be strong with your native tradition and the white way, because that's the world we live in. Those words guided me well. I feel very comfortable in both worlds as I continuously walk in and out of them every day. And thanks to the community of Banff for accepting us while living here. Thank you so much. Thanks to all our dear friends, and we've made many here that supported us. To our training buddies, I see a few of them here. Lynn and Doug, Mike, Trudy, Bonnie and Mike, the Percy family, I need my binoculars because, you know, when you wear glasses, you can't see everything. You know, they pushed us training on those torturous back side of Sulphur Mountain and around Mount Norquay, Sunshine Village, Lake Louise, the Bugaboos, the Caribous, Panorama, and all the ski trails around here. And most of the time, Shirley and I broke trail. But now you have an amazing Nordic Center. Not that I'm complaining, I'm just so happy that, you know, through the progress of Shirley and pioneering we did, along with many others, that you have an amazing site there and you're producing Olympians. All those bears we ran into, the wildlife, even wild people, what a sight to see. Memorable moments that we will cherish forever. Most of all, we loved what we were doing, and as a result of that, we had so much fun. The combination that we had survived in the way we made wonderful lifelong friends. Representing Indigenous people around the world has been an honor, and I'm very proud of my achievements as a cross-country skier. I've had so much support throughout my career, and I'll be forever grateful to my fans, my coaches, and of course, families and the people of Banff. Thank you so much. Masicho, and thank you very much.
Outside before dinner, somebody asked Sharon and Shirley where they live now, and they said, up north, above Canada. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll tell you, it's pretty rare that I'm as proud to be a Canadian as right now. So the next induction is Thomas Grandy, a young man I've known his whole life. And I've known him since he arrived in Banff as just a tiny little guy with his mom Kika and his dad Ugo, and us and Vanya and Astrid and Thomas would hang out for hours together at the tennis courts. And the kids, Vanya, Astrid, Thomas, were always with Ugo and Kika, and they were always learning the game. And even when Thomas was a little guy, I remember he was always looking for an edge. He was always looking for a way to win, a way to get ahead of the other guy, or maybe the girl if it was his sister. He taught him and his sisters a really cool way to hit a tennis ball that I'd never seen, none of us had ever seen before. And Thomas, he could hit hard and he could hit straight and it was fast. But that was never enough for him. He had to win. So every once in a while, he'd foot fault, just a little bit. Or maybe he'd tell his sister that a shot was over the line when it actually maybe caught the line. And he was a master of what he later called the psych. Some people might call it something. Anyway, you get the idea, the psych. So here we are, all these years later, and along comes the Banff Sports Hall of Fame. What does Thomas do? He retires from ski racing. Psych master at work. He gets inducted into the Banff Sports Hall of Fame. He unretires. What a surprise. And the little genius wins again. Peter Minode back there said, oh man, I'm only 50. I've been retired for 20 years. Maybe I can come back too. Anyway, the truth is from the world of alpine skiing, no one in the history of our town has done what Thomas has done. No one deserves the induction more. He's the finest example of what the sport should be. He's a great athlete, but he's an even better person. And just wait till you see how he psychs those pesky Austrians in February 20. Thomas Grandy.
Thomas began his career in ski racing when his father encouraged him to tackle the discipline of giant slalom. After his start with the Banff Alpine Racers, Thomas advanced to a position on the Canadian national team. He worked his way up to be the senior of the men's team, earning 11 national championships along the way. Years of hard work and determination paid off when in 1997 he became the first Canadian male to reach the World Cup podium in a slalom race. In the 04-05 season, Thomas made history in Alta Badia, Italy, becoming the first Canadian male to win a World Cup GP. Just 2 days later, he repeated the feat with a second World Cup GS win in Flachau, Austria. He finished the season in an impressive third place overall in the giant slalom. Thomas has been a tremendous leader of the men's team, setting an example of dedication and focus on high performance that has had a profound influence on the younger team. He has also been paramount in developing the Alberta Alpine Legends Club, a project dedicated to funding developmental camps for skiers aged 11 to 16 years old. Thomas also still stays involved with the ski club to which he belonged as a boy, the Banff Alpine Racers, attending club events and encouraging young racers. In 2007, Thomas announced his retirement from racing and took over the position of president of Alpine Alberta. Although he was a natural in the position, applying his leadership qualities to Alberta's provincial ski program, Thomas decided he still had more racing in him. Having competed in the past 4 Winter Olympics, the draw of 2010 has pulled Thomas back into training mode. The next 2 seasons promise to be full of excitement as Canada's best ever male technical skier returns to the slopes.
After watching that, all I can say is, why would you ever want to stop doing that? It's funny, when Mark called me about this induction to the Hall of Fame, I was actually considering my unretirement. And when I finally decided I would unretire, I called him back and I said, does this affect my induction? Isn't there a certain criteria that belongs to me that you have to be retired? And he said, don't worry, we'll do it anyways. But I think tonight is really about giving thanks to all these people that are in this room that helped me and all the inductees achieve what we have. And I think I have to start with my parents. They had the courage in 1975 to move to Canada, not speaking any English, and coming to a foreign place with 3 very young kids. And now being a father, it really is that much more impressive. But landing in Calgary and not knowing anybody, asking a fellow on the street where a nice place to raise a family was. Lucky for me that fella said Banff. My dad came to Banff, he loved it. We moved to Banff, and a couple of weeks later he saw a beautiful house that he wanted to buy, and he had met Vito Gianandrea, and he said to Vito, could you lend me the money to buy this house? Vito said, sure. My dad went back to Italy and got the money he needed to pay him back, but that's one of the earliest starts we had in the generosity and the kindness of the people from Banff. But I think that once they brought me here, I don't think that even they understood what they instilled in myself and my family in terms of the love of the mountains, the love of skiing, and the passion that we developed for it. And of course, my sisters were a big part of who I became too, and because they were older, I was racing them, trying to beat them at tennis, but mostly trying to beat them skiing. And there's more than a few experiences that I can remember where my sister really inspired me. Once at Panorama when she was beating me, And I remember I went into the woods and was extremely mad, but those are the sorts of things that motivated me to be better. But another time was at Skokie Lodge, and that's where my dream really started when I was 8 years old. And we cross-country skied into Skokie Lodge, and my mom told me tonight that Bill Pato is here, the gentleman who picked me up on the Skidoo before Deception Pass when I wasn't going to make it up. But anyways, from the top of Deception Pass, we skied down, and I kept falling, and my sisters kept laughing at me. And each time I got up more determined than ever. And then in the guest register, I wrote that one day I would be the best skier in the world. So that's when my journey started. And now, as you all know, my journey is continuing. And it's amazing to be in this room and to feel the support of all of a community. And I can feel the momentum and the energy building towards 2010. So I really want to say thanks for everybody to get me to where I was before, and again to help me get to my new objective, which is going to be a huge challenge, but a new adventure that I'm so excited about. So coaches, teammates, friends, teachers that are all in the room, thanks for support, and again, supporting me going forward. I wanted to share one story about Marty because he's always been a big supporter of mine, and he was one of the first corporate sponsors that I've ever had with Canadian Mountain Holidays. He quietly, Canadian Mountain Holidays supported me, but being Marty and being a lawyer, it wasn't a standard sponsorship. It wasn't, here's the check, go out and train hard, have fun. He gave me trips to sell, and there was a caveat to that. I had to bring new butts into those seats. And that was no easy task, but to Marty for hosting a great evening and supporting me from the very beginning, thanks.
I got a couple more trips you could have too there, buddy. Anyway, Thomas is an astounding young guy, and you know, I've watched him grow from this tiny little guy into what he is now, and I kind of said it before, but you hear him speak and you know what a great man he has become. Athletics aside, we are so blessed in this town to have a few guys like Thomas, and even like Peter. They're great, great people. Pete and I have been friends for a while too, but maybe not after tonight, hey? Our next induction is Jerry Johnson. If you ever ran into Jerry Johnson on the street and asked him, "Hey Jerry, how you doing?" his answer would always be, "Sassy." I have no idea what the hell that means. But I know that if you were somebody who needed some help, and you ran into Jerry, and you ever asked Jerry, especially if you were on the mountain, if he could help you, he'd say, "Yeah, let's try it." And the man has an irrepressible spirit that many of us were fortunate to witness during his years in Banff. And that spirit propelled him onto the world stage during his as executive director of the Canadian Association for Disabled Skiing. But what many of you may not know, you don't know, is that Jerry is a multi-sport talent. And on one of his trips to Europe, he made quite a name for himself in the sport of European curling. Now, you have to understand, European curling isn't like our curling. They play it with these little triangular rocks, and it's kind of like frozen bocce ball. And it's not like the real curl. Anyway, Jerry, completely undaunted by lack of knowledge or the rules or any familiarity with the game, so Jerry says, "Okay, I'm going to be Skip, and Butch Boutry and Brian Rhodes are going to be pourer and mixer." So they took on the mighty Swiss. And using the brooms from a hotel lobby and playing under what I am told was either A, no lights, B, there could have been lights, or C, there were kaleidoscopic lights, depending upon how late in the game it was, the Canadian team vanquished the humorless Swiss by a score that none of them can remember. But the team members tell me that this game is a legend in Innsbruck, and it stands now in the Austrian pantheon of great defeats of the Swiss, and is celebrated every year by a traditional Canadian toast, a toast that Jerry invented that night of rum and apple juice, because that's it. So anyway, Jerry is a man who had a lot of fun. But more importantly, he made skiing accessible and fun for thousands who would have never discovered the joys and the freedom of skiing without Jerry's help. Jerry Johnson is formally here tonight in the builder category, but what I think he really is a humanitarian. There isn't a category for that. Maybe there should be, because if there was, Jerry would be and should be the first. Jerry Johnson.
In the early 50s, Jerry Johnston was told by his Banff High School principal that he'd have to learn another trade because he could never earn a living skiing. Looking back now, Jerry says he's not sure how much of a living he made, but he sure had a lot of fun. From 1990 to 1977, Jerry was known as the always smiling face at the highly regarded Sunshine Village Ski School. Through Jerry's management and philosophy, the Sunshine Ski School gained a well-earned reputation for having the best instructors in the country. Perhaps Jerry's greatest achievement is the huge difference he has made in the lives of those with disabilities. With his devotion, he has made an extremely positive impact on the sport and on countless people. His creative inventions of special equipment and teaching techniques became the industry standard for disabled skiers, helping the recipients to gain personal confidence and enjoy the outdoors. Jerry was founding president and executive director for the Canadian Association for Disabled Skiing and organized the first international disabled ski meet at Sunshine Village. In November 2000, he was awarded the Order of Canada for his dedication to skiing for the disabled. Jerry was a wonderful example of forward thinking in the ski world. His work with disabled skiers is unparalleled. Banff was surely blessed to have as one of its own someone with the vision and commitment of Johnston.
Yes, I am fat and saucy. Always have been. My sister is sitting over there. She's the one that Muriel Gratz went up to on graduation when I snuck through. A little better than my dad. My dad went through school. He went in the front door and out the back window in New Brunswick. But I at least attended them. And Miss Gratz said that I'd have to do something else, but too bad she wasn't here to find out that the pair of ski around the world. Even one time I went to before the Olympics in France, Paralympics in France, we had a meeting in Egypt. I had a tough time packing my skis and all that stuff down to the airport in Cairo, but worked it out. Anyhow, it was 45 years ago at Sunshine, I got a phone call and a package that came up from Bob Dawson. Maybe some of you remember Bob. He was in the boot business time, but he sent a pair of outriggers, arm crutches, some kind of an attachment, and a ski. And he had a friend in Edmonton who post-polio wanted to learn to ski. So I said, sure, I'll try it. Came up. When she wasn't looking, I'd go out on the hill and see how I could stand up on these stupid things, holding one leg up. and did quite well, actually. Found out how to do it. In 10 days, we got her ski by herself. But she used to put her braced leg down in the snow and stop herself. I fixed that. I just put a moccasin on a ski tip, put it in there so she couldn't stop it. Several things have happened along the way that being born and drug up in Banff. I was coming through customs in Calgary, probably back from that curling trip in Innsbruck. That wasn't as bad as the year we didn't have apple juice and we used Boost for mix. But I walked up to the customs, you know, I traveled, I always smoked a lot and drank a little. So I go up and put my passport down, the girl looks at it and said, you don't see that very often. I got a bottle of booze, carton of cigarettes, what else? She said, somebody born in Banff. I've had that a couple times. Someone asked me, when you're born in Banff, I said, yeah, I got 2 boys born in Banff. People get born in Banff? Yeah. Anyhow, I'm very appreciative of the people who nominated me. It's good to be here and see all the people I know. I haven't seen you all. The faces are familiar, but the names have disappeared. Some have been changed. Also, as I said, 45 years ago, that's when I started that. And in a couple weeks, 45 years ago also, I married this young gal down here that pushed me to do a lot of this work. So thank you for that, Anne. And I was thinking the other night, it's pretty remarkable when a fella at Sunshine Village in the back was trying to figure out how to ski to the disabled. And now I turn around and look at the budget that the team has to go to 2010. We've come a long way, so anybody can ski. Thank you.
Could you be, after a night like this, any more proud to be a Banffite? Anyway, I was born here too, but it seems like it's not helping me get into the Hall of Fame. We'll move that along. So our next induction is Doug Robinson. And the Robinsons have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. The local papers have done wonderful stories on all of our inductees, and one story about Doug actually needs a little correction. Doug was quoted as saying that he's met his wife Carmen at a ski race, and he said, "She looked pretty good to me." And I understand that the truth is they both competed in that race, and in fact, Carmen actually kicked his butt. And then she really looked good to Doug. So that's a real Banff boy. I'm very proud of you. That's kind of how I met Renee, too. But she just kicked my butt. We weren't actually skiing. Anyway, Doug and Carmen were married, and they had so many kids so quickly that the rumor around town was that they were having a year. And I know Doug was good at a lot of things, but I don't think he was that good. But what he was definitely good at was coaching skiers and turning them into champions. And he did it not just with skill and knowledge, but by being a really fun and passionate guy. A guy you wanted to be on the slopes with. And my most enduring memory of Doug is that he never spoke down, but not a kid, not an adult, none of us. And all of us little kids were equal. We weren't equal, but he treated us like we were. And we were all just skiers, and that's what mattered most to him. He even let me and a couple of my friends sneak onto the 1972 World Cup course just before they took the fences down. I was 14 at that time, and it was the highlight of my life on skis. Doug, you went into my Hall of Fame that day. This is just late. And basically, he just made it fun for all of us to be out there. And I don't think there's any higher praise for a ski coach. He just made it fun. Doug Robinson, he's a builder of skiers if there ever was one. Doug Robinson.
Doug Robinson has been an important figure on the local ski scene. With boundless energy, commitment, and enthusiasm, he initially made his mark by leading the Alberta team to its first victory at the Canadian Nationals in 1963. In 1970, Doug's contribution to the world of skiing was recognized when he was named Rotary Club's Western Canadian Sportsman of the Year. His passion for the sport and his commitment to young athletes resulted in him being named head coach of the Calgary Ski Club and the Banff Ski Runners. He also helped to organize and run the first World Cup races held locally. Doug also felt it was important to instill in young skiers a love of recreational ski racing, and thus began his involvement as coach of the Nancy Green League at Mount Norquay. Many Banff children owe their love of skiing to Doug's inspiring influence. Doug excelled at every aspect of skiing and ski racing, from innovative and successful coaching to the technical side of course design and safety, to club and volunteer development, and even to his ability to build ski lifts. One of his greatest contributions to the world of competitive skiing was the 4 years Doug spent preparing both the men's and women's courses for the 1988 Olympic alpine events at Nikiska. Doug's safety measures were considered a gold standard. Humble, kind, encouraging, and always the true gentleman, Doug is an unsung hero who has left a legacy that many involved in skiing now take for granted. Banff's success as a training ground of world-class is largely due to Doug's incredible energy, personality, and groundbreaking hard work.
Wow. After watching all these other great people come up here, I kept saying to myself, what the hell am I doing here? And I know them all. Well, I guess first of all, I have to thank my kids, my children, for submitting my name here tonight for this prestigious award. I mean, God, my kids did this. I guess there's very few things in life that's better than when you get the full sanction of your own family. I'm totally stoked. Thank you, kids. How many kids do you say I have? Marty says I got 24 of you out there. Really, it's 6. And another one I got when I married Marika. So now I have 7 kids. Secondly, I'd like to, you know damn well I didn't do my homework, don't you? Secondly, I'd like to thank all my friends who took the time to write letters to support my children's submission. I'm truly humbled by the sincere comments on my behalf. I'm really touched. I guess I'll always be grateful to those group of people and all you people. And of course, Bruce, I had to give him a Banff ski runner pin tonight. I have one. Anyway, sincere thanks, Bruce. I really appreciate what you've done here. Anyway, Banff and skiing has always been dear to my family and myself. A passion nurtured over the years, I believe skiing to be probably the most noble vehicle to transport us through our life from a very early age. A statement I used to use to when I was coach, I'd say, you may not be able to become famous racers, but you'll sure to heck live a better life because of it. And I kind of try to impress that on the kids. And also, during the years of coaching, there was many friends and families involved in the Banff Ski Runners, of which I don't dare start naming names because I'm going to miss somebody, and I'm almost people who've mentioned names before me because they hit the hearts of those people. But I'm scared to try it because I was scared I would miss somebody for sure. And they've all been part of this whole picture of us coaching in the Banff Ski Runners and everything, preparing courses and running races and fundraising through swap meets after the race, calculating race points and results. Pardon me, I'm reading, so I'm making mistakes. The award I receive here tonight, I owe to all of you. And thank you very much. For without your help, our children wouldn't have achieved what they did, and without them, I wouldn't be here tonight. So thank all of you who have made this evening such a memorable occasion. And God bless you all in the way that I've been blessed. I gotta get a little light, but I mean, every coach has something that they've got to tell a story about. I've probably got 1,000 of them, but one was very memorable, very, very, very impressive on me when I was coaching a bunch of little kids on Norca, and we were doing shooses down the mountain. And I happened to have a bunch of kids with me at that time, and there was one little girl there, just as cute as a button, and she had all this heavy clothes on. And so she was shoosing down the mountain and she tumbled. And I was looking up there, and all of a sudden, a ski, a boot, and a leg were going down the mountain. And I thought, my God, what have I done? I'm pushing these kids too hard. And what happened, in those days, people thought ahead a little bit. And so when they bought boots for their 8-year-old kid, they were good until they were 19. All you did is fill them full of stockings. And so this kid did a tumble, and her foot come out of her boot and her stockings, and there it was, going down the mountain. That's just one of my coach stories. Thank you all.
Like I said, the guy made it fun. Lots of fun. When he came up, you could see how touched Doug was by this. And Bruce Henry said, man, he is really touched by this. And I said, yeah, I remember another guy who was like that too. Hey, Bruce? So our next induction is the Stafford family. And Laurie Stafford was in my class in school, and Barry Stafford was 1 year ahead of me. Laurie seemed always to win all the girls' ski races. Really bugged us. And the rest of the kids, Gordy, Kathy Allen, were a little bit younger, but it always seemed like some Stafford was doing great athletics in school or outside of school. Their dad, Ted, was the referee of all the referees and the guy everyone wanted as their hockey coach. And Dort kept them all motivated and on track. But when we were in kids in Boy Scouts, one Barry Stafford story seems to sum up the whole family for me. So we were out camping along the Cascade River with about 25 boys. Not much in the way of leadership. A couple of knuckleheads, I don't know who they were. And Barry decides with Dean McGee, who was inducted last year, that it might be kind of fun to have a game of chicken with a big hunting knife. And see who could throw it closest to the other guy's foot and make it stick in the ground. So Barry goes first, and he sticks the knife about 3 inches from Dean's foot. Pretty good. Then Dean has his turn. I don't know if you remember Dean. Dean's about the size of a Douglas fir. So Dean winds up, throws really hard, sticks the knife about 3 inches right inside Barry's foot. So Barry's stuck to the ground by this knife, right? And he doesn't flinch, and he doesn't cry, and he's got a knife sticking out of his foot. That's a tough Banff kid. And not so smart, but tough. So anyway, like I said, he never cried. I cried just looking at it. He puked a bit too, I think. Anyway, but tough alone doesn't get you into the Banff Sports Hall of Fame. No, sir. I think the reason the Staffords are here is because of Laurie's all-girls hockey team. See, I was in an all-boys class. There were 18 boys when we were, for 3 years, no girls, 18 boys in Banff. And the boys in my class, we all started dating when we were about 25. Anyway, that's another story, but anyway, I think that girls' team is the ticket as to why they're here. So thanks, Laurie, to giving a little color to a colorless all-boys existence. I'm way off track here, aren't I? So anyhow, this is a family, the Stafford family. They're a family who's done so much for sport and in sport and for Banff and elsewhere. They definitely deserve to be in the entire hall all by themselves. But maybe this is a little bit better. So to the Stafford family.
The Stafford family has achieved many accomplishments over the last half-century, and they demonstrate the true spirit of sport and leadership within the community. Born in Banff, Ted established his athletic reputation in track events. But Ted's true love was hockey, and of his son's hockey teams laid the foundation for future generations of hockey stars. Ted excelled not only as a coach, but also as a referee and as the scoutmaster for the first Banff Scout Troop. Ted's leadership skills were complemented by his infectious enthusiasm and ability to build team spirit. Ted was honored by the Banff Rotary Club Sportsman of the Year in 1969. Ted and Dort's eldest son, Barry, grew up on Banff's hockey rinks, progressing from junior hockey to head trainer and equipment manager with the Edmonton Oilers, where he was part of winning 5 Stanley Cups. Barry also has an extensive background in international hockey, serving as equipment manager for Team Canada at 7 major international tournaments, including Olympic Games. The Stafford daughters, Laurie and Kathy, excelled in track and field, skiing, and figure skating. Laurie captured several medals skiing as a youngster, while Kathy, as a grade 11 student, competed at the Provincial Track and Field Championships, representing Banff as a one-woman team. Gordie Stafford, initially coached by his dad, went on to play several years of semi-professional hockey in the States. Like his dad, Gordie pursued coaching, and his son, Drew, continued in the Stafford hockey tradition and now plays in the NHL with the Buffalo Sabres. The youngest son of the Stafford clan, Alan, was also a hockey player and went through Banff's minor hockey program, progressing to Alberta junior hockey, earning league records along the way. Alan continues to share his love of the sport, coaching in the Minor Hockey Association. The Staffords' family sporting achievements are vast. They continue to promote and instill a love for sports with their talented leadership.
For those of you that I don't know, my name is Gordy Stafford. I'm the middle kid, so I guess I'm representing the family from all directions. I'd like to start off by thanking the committee for the of our family and for this honor. Also to Graham for all his years of being a friend of the family, and to congratulate the other honorees tonight. I'd also like to, although she's not here tonight, I'd like to thank Sandy Santalucia, great friend of my mom's, who kind of herded all the cats around and helped us get this all organized for tonight. So I'd like to thank Sandy for that. There's been a lot of debate in the family over the last little while about what accomplishments each individual has achieved and how those accomplishments fit into the category for which we've been nominated. And as I've thought about the influence of the family on myself, it's become more clear to me. And actually being here tonight, it's made it even more clear that the common thread of the mountains around here, families in the room, and sports have given us gifts that we will be thankful for forever. Sitting on my mom's coffee table, as I'm sure is sitting on many of your coffee tables, is the book We Live in a Postcard. And over the past few years coming home, I've been fascinated by the stories. You can sit there in the living room, fascinated by the stories of the families revealed in the book. And what occurred to me is that we all have mutual experience, but all at different times. We all talk about sunshine and trekking up tunnel and hiking around Lake Louise and fishing at Assiniboine. And the mountains are there, they're eternal, they're there all the time. I return every year and Rundle is there, and Cascade is there, and Borjo is there. And now we all have children of our own. I've actually got a 9-year-old granddaughter, and she was here with me this summer, and we hiked up to Plain of Six Glaciers, and we saw a grizzly bear at Johnson Lake, and she swung on the Tarzan swing, and now she's decided she wants to live at Nana's house in the mountains. The next constant for our family is coming home every year is 510 Wolf Street, our house. And it's different now than it was when we were growing up, but we still wake up in the morning and you can look out the window and see the clouds hugging, just the majesty of Cascade on those bright, clear mornings just before the sun is up and the haze sets in. It's just wonderful, and you just dream about it when you're not here, and when you wake up in the morning and see it, it's just every time it takes your breath away. We've decided here too, and I think everybody would agree that this is really a tribute to our dad, Ted Stafford. He was born here in 1933, and he worked at my grocery store. He played every sport in high school, and he was actually recruited to play to Stanford in California to play football and run track. But after a year, he came back and he lived here for the most part, for the rest of his life. And he met my mom in school. And although she claims that she wasn't attracted to him at first because he was such a jock, and she was somewhat of a shy girl from Scotland, I guess he must have grown on her. When I tell about my childhood, and it's the same, people don't believe that someone can actually be born in Banff. I can't almost believe that it's real. We grew up in a postcard, we really did. And my dad and mom passed everything on to us. We camped and we skied and we hiked and we fished and we swam and we built forts on Tunnel Mountain. My friend Ross Jansen and I building forts and hoping that the wardens didn't see them. And we played hockey. My sister Kathy figure skated, and Lori played hockey on one of the girls' hockey teams, but her true passion, I think, was riding horses. And with our horse Thunder, that my dad made a deal with Frank Camp so that our family could have a horse. That story's in the book, We Live in a Postcard. It's a fascinating story, and I can still remember the day that he took us down to Camp's Corral there on the way to Banff Springs, and there was this horse, and what a wonderful day that was. We also traded bikes with the Indians during the Indian days, and usually got them back in a lot rougher shape than we gave them to them in, but that's the way it was. To this day, I think my dad had the greatest job in the world. He worked for the government for Parks Canada with Jerry Moritz and Phil Kochanowski and Walter Jansen, among others. And his job was a radio technician to set up and repair mountain repeaters. This was before satellites. He set up mountain repeaters for the communication systems in the park. And again, before satellite, he rode horses to work. He rode in helicopters. He was out in the bush. He was up on top of me, and he shared that with us, and what a job he had. He was also involved in so many things. He was a scoutmaster. He was a firefighter for 35 years. He refereed minor hockey. He played for the Banff Rams with his D partner, Bill Young. And if we were good, we got to go watch the games on Saturday nights. And at some point, I think Scott Stevens might have seen my dad and Mr. Young play together, because it didn't seem like there was a game that went by Mr. Young wouldn't set some poor guy up on the old Don Cherry Railroad tracks, and my dad would set him up and send him flying through the air. Good old-fashioned hip check. I was thinking those guys, they had to work the next day too, so I don't know. I know that my mom has thought a lot since my dad passed away about the significance of her contribution, and that's kind of unbelievable to me, but when I continue this sort of theme of constants, she's always been there, always in the background. I always tell her that moms are the victims of unconditional. We just kind of know that she's going to be there. Today she hikes every day with her dog Lady. She's a little bit slower on the uppies, but she's a mountain woman to the core. She's got the game of golf mastered as well. She goes out with us and her nephews and her grandkids, nephews, her grandkids, and she's 150 yards down the middle, chip, couple of putts, see you later. No problem. She's also got great hands, and nobody demonstrates better body English than her. When a putt is just about to go into the hole, she can pull around like that and make it go in, so that's pretty impressive to watch. I'm convinced that when people have told my brother Alan and myself, and now my son Drew and nephew Kyle, that they have good hands, I realize that we got those hands from our mom, and I'm not quite sure what happened to Barry. Mountains and family are constants in our lives, and tied to each of them is sports. Sports are to this day the thread. The hikes in the bush, the games, dinner in the oven. This was before microwaves, dinner in the oven after hockey practice, or family swim night up at the upper hot pool. Hockey night in Canada, that was the only night that we were allowed to eat in the living room, especially if Glenn Sather was playing, and how cool it was that we knew a player that played in the NHL. My heart fills with unbelief and amazement when I think of the career of my brother Barry. Canadian University Championships, a Stanley Cup ring for each finger on his right hand, Canada Cups, World Cups, Olympic golds. And I guess now, as I understand it, he's got 2 silver sticks for 2,000 games in the NHL. And his training was with the Alberta, his first training experience was with the Alberta champion Banff Bisons, that many of you remember the Banff Bisons, and also the Glen Sather Hockey School. Now my brother Alan and Michelle cart their kids, Allie and Brendan, on the urban shuffle to hockey and BMX and other activities. They have a boat, and their kids wakeboard and water ski just like our dad taught us to do. Kyle Moss, Lori's son, has pursued hockey as well, and he's come down to Minnesota to visit in the hockey school that I direct, and I've got to know him in a way that I never would have gotten to know him had it not been for hockey. And I don't know that there's a bigger sports fan in the world than Dad Doug. Edward Reed, Kathy's son, competed this past summer in the BC Games cycling competition. It's a passion for cycling that was passed down to him from his dad. And Kelsey Moss and Emily Reed are mountain girls too, and they enjoy hikes with their Nana, and as I understand, a little bit of the Banff Avenue scene, which is okay. Their adventurous spirits have them driving to Vancouver Island together this past year, to a place they first discovered when my dad set up the first communication system at Pacific Rim National Park with his family in tow. My daughter Lindsay played hockey and rode horses, but like her cousins Kelsey and Emily, her connection to sports manifests itself in her adventurous spirit. And I'm so proud now that my granddaughter Aubrey has taken up hockey after threatening to be a ballerina skater for a number of years. No offense intended at all. But my father's influences us every day of our lives, and we've all learned as well the hardest lesson of all from him, that we won't live forever. But all the things that he taught us, we carry with us today, which in the end is the essence of human immortality, being a good person while you're here, and that's what he was. The mountains are great teachers, and my dad obviously paid attention and passed these lessons on to us a large way through sports. For my entire youth, I was Ted's kid, Harry's brother, and I think my mom and dad made him take me along when he and Dean McGee and Karsten and the Christo boys and Gerald Costigan, among others, would sneak into the rink and play shinny by the light of the propped open arena door. I'll take Little Stafford. I was Little Stafford. I don't think they break into the arena anymore, Donnie, so you don't have to worry about that. Hockey took me away from the mountains, but Banff is still my home. I had an opportunity to play in Calgary, and eventually I signed with Edmonton during the NHL. I understand they had some pretty good prospects my age. At the time, it was 1980 and 1979. Nobody kind of knew what they were going to become. And I played the majority of my career in Milwaukee of the IHL. During that time, I got my teaching degree, and I've been teaching and coaching for the past 20 years, and the last 9 at Shattuck St. Mary's in Minnesota. And my girls' teams have won 3 straight national championships. So that has earned me the right now to be Drew's dad. Many of you may know. Which is okay. Banff, too, is his favorite place on earth. And he and I have looked down at the town from the top of Cascade, and we've fished in Redoubt Lake with his uncles. We've hiked to Lake Agnes with Nana, and we've screamed down the back of Stony Squaw with Uncle Dean on mountain bikes. And to watch a member of your family in the NHL is almost surreal. Family name on Hockey Night in Canada. But I don't think that the feeling is any different than any other parent. You just don't want them to get hurt. You want them to give their best effort, and you want them to be given a fair chance. My wife Debbie and I have tried to provide the best opportunity that we could for our kids, just like our parents did, like Lori and Kathy and Alan do, and like I think all of you do. He certainly gets his competitive spirit from his mom. Now if we could just get him to wear RBK. What can you say? He's a 22-year-old punk kid who needs his uncle to tune him in once in a while. People often say to me how proud I must be to have a son in the NHL, and what I often reply is that I'm as proud of him as you must be of your children. I'm proud of my whole family, and this experience has really clarified to me that what the true lessons in sport and family can teach, that it's the process. The journey is the reward, not the score, the trophies, the championships, but the people that you meet along the way, and the teammates and the teachers and the mountains and family. Sports teach us these undeniable truths. We need to appreciate the moment. You have to stop and smell the pines and listen to the marmots whistle. You have to watch out for bears. And as I saw, somebody emailed me, I think my friend Ross emailed me the other day, or a little while ago, you have to watch for cougars while you're boating on Minnewanka. You have to give yourself up to the greater good. My dad used to always say, and it's on posters and that, take only pictures and leave only footprints. In order to receive, you must be willing to give. You need to prepare. It's tough sleeping by a mountain lake when you forgot your foamy and your brother won't share his. Mountains, family, and sports. When we all, I think, in this room look back, these are the sturdy, colorful threads of the tapestry of the lives of pretty much everybody in the room. And the Stafford family is grateful for this moment and for all the gifts that this town and its surrounding have blessed us with. And we are secure, I believe, in the truth that Ted will have a campsite set up for us somewhere that looks a lot like the end of Baker Lake or somewhere around Bryant Creek when our time comes. And we realize that our family legacy will endure as long as the mountains that watch over this amazing place are here. Thank you for this honor.
Well, Gordy said how nice it was to have a friend who played in the NHL. And that friend happened to send a little note by telegram tonight. And it says, in the memory of Ted and to all the Stafford family, congratulations on being inducted into the Banff Sports Hall of Fame. Your contributions have been overwhelming. All the best from Glenn and all of the Sather family. Well, I'd just like to call Mark Starrett, the chairman of the Banff Sports Hall of Fame, to the podium, and he has a few words for all of you.
Thanks very much, Marty. Once again, you've brought something special to this evening with your excellent job as Master of Ceremonies. Thank you very much. As you would expect, an evening like this does not happen without the help of many people. I'd like to take a few moments to bring your attention to some special people that helped make this evening possible. First, my fellow trustees and all those that have served on the Board of Trustees since our organization was founded in 2004. Whenever there's a job that needs to be done, there is always one of you to step up and take care of it. Thank you very much. This is the third dinner where we've had the pleasure of seeing the creative work of Glenn Crawford as he puts together our videos. Yeah. This is the first year, however, that Glenn has been able to be in attendance to see the reaction to his work here at the Banff Sports Hall of Fame. Glenn, could you please stand up and be recognized? Organizing a silent is no easy task, and I'd like to thank Christy Wilson for agreeing to handle this very important function. Christy, thank you. And another special part that has been happening with the Banff Sports Hall of Fame, like the video, is the artwork that is presented to each inductee created by Lauren Langevin. It's been a special part of this evening and all the other ones. Thank you very much, Lauren. We're pleased to have the help of Mark Gray, videographer, again this evening, enabling us to document this special dinner as well. Thank you, Mark. Perhaps just as important as celebrating our inductees this evening is the sense of community that this event has brought to Banff over the last 4 years. It's wonderful to see current and former residents and friends of Banff join us to celebrate not only our special inductees, but indeed this town we have called home. It's not only the accomplishment of our inductees, but the activities that they have drawn us into over many generations of sport and mountain leisure. The raising of families, friends growing up together, and the institutions that have thrived over the years are some of the aspects we celebrate this evening. It is with that in mind that last month our trustees entered into a partnership with the Banff Community Foundation, establishing the Banff Sports Hall of Fame Endowment. We are confident that with the integrity and stewardship shown by our Banff Community Foundation, the gifts that are provided to our endowment through the fundraising this evening and in our past 2 dinners will have a lasting effect on our community for generations to come. It's now my pleasure to invite to the stage the husband of one of our inaugural inductees, Karen Percy Lowe. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of Hockey Operations for the Edmonton Oilers, Mr. Kevin Lowe.
Thank you. Want to congratulate Marty and all the organizers for a wonderful evening, and in particular the inductees, and most notably Thomas. Go get him, Thomas. On behalf of the Edmonton Oilers and the Edmonton Oilers Foundation, I'm proud to announce that we have a check here presented to the Banff Sports Hall of Fame. I have to say, and I think you all know it, Banff is a special place. Not because I found my wife here, but in fact, she mentioned it's good that you could show up to one of these events. But it is a special place. I travel the world, and everybody knows Banff, and you're all so fortunate to live here. But on behalf of the Stafford family, I want to present this check because they're wonderful people. They've been a huge part of my life, and if this check can help provide a bit of a legacy and a bit of a springboard to other great events, this is a wonderful event. I'm pleased to do it. And perhaps on a little aside, I challenge the Calgary Flames to match this check. Because I know Banff is an Edmonton Oilers region zone. I know that. Anyhow, Merci Ciao. Thank you very much.
Well, Kevin probably thinks he's going to get off easy, but he's not. It's nice of him to give us a check, but I have a Kevin Lowe story. So Kevin, when he was general manager of the Oilers, one day he was driving home from Rexall Place, and he passed a priest whose car had broken down. And so Kevin stops and he offers this priest a lift, and the priest thanks him kindly and take off to the church where Kevin's going to drop him off. And on the way, they pass a guy on the other side of the road, and the guy's wearing a Calgary Flames jersey. Now, we know what Kevin thinks of that in his city, so he suddenly felt like this uncontrollable urge to run his car into that Flames knucklehead. So he puts his foot down on the accelerator and he tries to hit the guy. And at the last minute, the Flames fan jumps out of the way. And Kevin heard a bang, but knows he's missed him. So they keep going. You know, Kevin feels bad. They keep going quietly to the church. And anyway, Kevin says as they arrive at the church, "Look, Father, I'm really sorry about that incident back there, and I don't know what came over me. Can you forgive me?" And the priest says, "Of course I can forgive you, my son. You missed him, but I got him with the car door." Lawyers are never challenged by the truth. Anyway, so this has been once again a fabulous evening. Every year that we do this, it gets better, it gets more poignant, it becomes more meaningful, it becomes more emotional, more impactful. We now have 15, 16, 17 inductees into the Banff Sports Hall of Fame. There will be many more. I encourage you all, you know many, please nominate those who deserve to be here, and don't be shy about it. And in 2 years, in 2010, we'll be back here doing this one more time. The money that we raise through this event goes to support amateur athletics in Banff, and boy, have we seen the result of supporting young people in town. It's really, really great. So thank you all for that. A couple of other things to say. One is we have Malcolm Carmichael for taking all the still photographs tonight. Thanks, Malcolm. We really need to thank the Banff Park Lodge, Frank, your great staff, and the wonderful dinner. Super service, guys. Thank you, everybody. And as I said, the money that we raise here, it's very important. It's very important to support these young people. Please take one of the flags from this table, but please don't do it without leaving at least $5 behind. So thank you very much. We appreciate everything you've done for us tonight. Good evening. See you in 2 years.